Well, we're in the Provo River. It's the end of April 2019. We're in an area not too far below the dam in the middle Provo. It's a cold, windy day. Not hardly, there are very few people out. This is Chris here. He's got a fish on. The sun came and went today. It was cloudy. Wind was blowing strong, pretty strong out of the southwest. Made it tough fishing, but the fish were rising a little bit, just enough to be just enough for some action. It was the middle of the day. Now we weren't fishing on top because they weren't rising very much, but there was a BWO hatch, very small, coming down. So they were taking everything underneath. So that's what we were using, is really small stuff, small flies. That is, little midge and beta snip type things. Size 20, size 22. Nice brown trout. Chris is proud of that. Wind continued to blow there a little bit. He went and had to go put his jacket on. He hooked a good one now, so it appears. And he fought it, and the clouds came and went, and the light came and went, and I'm still filming. I'm waiting for him to get it close enough so I can go help him, because Dan is working with his brother Mike further down the stream, and so I'm running the camera. This fish kept taking line, and he fought it, and I don't know what's going on. So I usually shorten these up a lot, but I'll give you about a good portion of this one, maybe half of this fight, and show you that he's using good judgment. Now I'm not out there telling him what to do, but he's been trained. He's fished with us before, and so he reels when he can, and when the fish is taking line, or then he gets his hand off the reel. Well, eventually he was getting to get close enough. I thought I'd get on down there and help him, because he's a good fisherman. He's putting all the pressure on him he can, keeping the rod up and kind of trying to pull him out of the current. So I got down there and tried to give him some advice. Take a look at the reel and see what the drag was. Don't recommend you changing your own drag during the fight, but if you have a guide, and if he sees it needs to be done, then let him do it. You can mess up if you're in the heat of the moment, if you're fishing and you work the guide. The general consensus is, or the general habit is, to tighten the drag. But no, I like to have the drag sit firm enough to really land the fish. But when they get closer, I like to loosen it a little bit. In this case, we're going back and forth and trying to pull the fish out of the current. And then I instructed him to kind of pull to the left and see if we could get him to come up a little bit, and then switch back to pulling towards the shore, kind of put the fish off balance. That's the idea. I adjusted again. We really wanted this fish because we knew it wasn't any baby. I'll tell you that, because the way it was fighting. Yeah. Chris is getting a little tired there. He's using two hands now on the rod. Using a long rod. This is a 10-foot rod, and so the fish has some leverage on it. In this case, a 10-foot, they pull a lot harder than you would think, because it's a matter of physics, But the long rods are really good for nymphing, for the bounce rig like we do, and for the check nymphing and so forth, high stick nymphing. Yeah, so I recommend the long rods. I think there's a trend towards that. I have to admit that the British probably had it figured out a long time ago, and we just or maybe we're catching up on how good the long rods are. I know the steelhead fishermen love the really long rods, and they do their fancy switch casting and so forth. Whoop, there's the reason right there. That's why the fish fought so hard. There's two on the same line, and they're brown trout. They're fighting together. It's a team. Quite often when we hook two good-sized fish like this, they don't cooperate. They go to opposite directions and break off. Well, I'm coming down here, and Dan has come up and he helped net because we had two fish, and so I'm coming around to show you that these fish are still on the same rig. We haven't taken them off yet. This is not staged. This is the real deal. You see Dan and I out there with our people. This the real deal. These aren't monster fish. This is not Argentina or something or New Zealand, but hey, on the Provo River, a double on the same rod, brown trout, nice brown trout. Hey, that's a good thing. There, Chris, he's proud of those two. They're both nice fish. One's about 17, the other's about 15. So he's going to release him there. He's a happy camper. Now there's his brother Mike. He's got one on, and I'm showing this to show again the way to work fish properly. Now he's pulling his some upstream like that, but now Dan told him to pull towards the shore. So if you get the fish out of the current, then you have a much better chance of landing it, because if they use the current to their advantage. Well, they're not thinking about that, but the force of the current and the fish. So now you think, well, what's wrong with me? I'm wandering with a camera. Well, Chris hollered down here. He got one on too. So we've got two on at the same time. These brothers are these Chris and Mike are brothers, by the way. So I guess they're used to working as a team. Anyway. The fellow across the way there was fishing from the far shore. The wind was coming from the direction from across the stream this way, so it was difficult to fish. We were fishing into the wind, but in this particular hole, we need to be on this side. So we do what we have to do. Dan got the one in the net already. He says he's going to turn it loose. Yeah, he turns that one loose. There's a little one there. He goes down to get the other one. This fishing was really good for a couple hours, like from 1 to 3. It was slow. We started about 10:30, 11. It was slow, and then it picked up when there was little bit of a hatch, just a little bit of a hatch, not enough to confuse the issue, just to get the fish interested and so forth. You got that? Caught that one. I'm going to show you too. This is another double from later. I didn't get both fish being caught in this one, but this is another double from later. That is, each of the brothers caught one. You notice the one, they're both big. Well, we decided it's getting about 4 or 5 o'clock. We decided to go further down the stream, but the fishing was declining. The quality of the fishing was declining.
He's got to be tired of this by now. We do this too much. Today is, what's the date? April 27th or 8th?
8th or 9th.
Or 9th? I've lost another day. This is late April.
29th.
April 29th. And we're about to get rained on here. We're in the upper part of the middle of Provo. We're in the Bunny Farm area, if anybody knows where that is. If people get mad at us, so be it. If we tell you where we are. We've had a pretty decent day today. We've been doing a bounce rig. These guys have been fairly proficient at the brown. So we've had some stories to tell. We've had some big fish that got off too. So anyway, we're fishing with two brothers here today. So now they've been pretty mild on each other compared to a lot of the brothers we have about teasing. Like,
Not a lot of pressure there.
no, these guys have been pretty good, easy go. They've acted like they actually like each other or something. But a lot of the brothers we have, it's on like Donkey Kong from day one when they first get out here. It's like here one gets the fish. It's like, hey, you want to hold my fish that you haven't seen one today? That kind of thing. But maybe it helps that they're both catching fish.
Yeah, that helped.
Well, we caught some good fish early on. I didn't catch two at a time though, like this guy did. But
that was a double.
that was a double.
That was.
We
thought we had jaws on there.
we have quite a few doubles when we're fishing down for the little rainbows.
Mhm.
But it's like that's pretty rare to have a nice fish like that with another decent brown all hanging off together. That was pretty fun.
Yep.
You guys talk louder. Man, this thing.
Okay. Well,
Talk louder.
We caught some good fish, lost a few.
lost a few. Caught quite a few actually. I thought.
Yeah, it was well worth it. Good day.
Good day.
What was the best? What were we using?
What was that?
What did we catch most of them?
Mostly on sow bugs. So that's a pretty good one around here.
Yeah, most were on sow bugs and little black midges, like size 20.
20s, yeah.
Just tiny little midges. But that's what's here. We've had a big hatch here lately, and it's kind of gone flat, I think, because they've let the little water out. The hatch seems to be going down, but it'll be back soon.
We saw a few fish rising, but didn't really go after any of them. They didn't seem to be too active, really. Just a few.
You see, it's toward the end of the day. It's commencing raining.
Starting to rain.
Time to quit.
I think it's time to quit.
Go home.
Yeah.
All
And they
right.
quit.
All right.
Well, we had a great time with Jim and Dan. So.
Thank you. It's a great day.
Excellent. It was
Learned a
fun.
lot.
Fun day for us too. Fun
We
day
learned
to be
something
out.
good.